Thanks, Greg. Well, Jeff Robertson is the area director of the Salvation Army, who has been very active in relief efforts surrounding the recent flooding in parts of central and eastern Canada. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks, Meg. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so tell us about the exact areas that you've been helping and how you've been able to help.
Sure. Right now, a lot of our work is focused in the Ottawa area, primarily through Britannia and Constance Bay and Cumberland. Up to 7 sites we're feeding, and we're providing hydration for people and providing emotional and spiritual care. We're also on standby in Quebec and throughout New Brunswick. We also have people on standby in the Muskoka area waiting for us to be called out to serve those in need.
And Salvation Army, you guys have been doing this for over 100 years, of just being there for communities, first relief, just being on the ground saying, how can we help?
Well, part of our mission in the Salvation Army is to serve suffering humanity. And this is one way that we can reach out and be the hands and feet of Jesus.
You talk about spiritual and emotional care. How important? Because I think sometimes when we watch the news, we see the sandbags, which are so important.
Right.
We see the sandwiches and the hot drinks. But emotional and spiritual care sometimes gets pushed to the side. How important is that aspect in being able to make that affordable or available for people?
Well, in any situation where there's a conflict or disaster, people have emotions, and they don't always know what to do or how to feel. And we want to be able to come alongside them and just listen to them. It's not always about faith, it's often about being a presence in their lives, listening to what they're going through, offering them some support, some emotion. In fact, yesterday, we had a lady come in and standing behind one of our canteens, and one of our volunteers heard a noise and went back, and she was shaking. This woman was shaking, and in talking to her, this woman said, "I wanted to come here because I knew Jesus was here." Wow. And they went for a nice long walk and talked about what she was going through and shared a prayer. And in that time where they had together, her shaking stopped and she was able to relax and breathe and go back to focusing on taking care of her home. It's those little moments where we take a sandwich or a bottle of water to someone and just say, "Hey, we're thinking of you. What can we do to help?"
Yeah, neighbors loving neighbors.
Yes.
When you're talking to those that you have on the ground, are there other stories of just people who have been really impacted by the flooding? Again, we know it's so wide across central and eastern Canada, but just stories of what people are going through to paint a picture of just that direct
It's affecting
connection.
a lot of people. And in the Ottawa area specifically, the areas hit are the same areas that were hit 2 years ago. So they're reliving what they endured 2 years ago. And that caused a lot of grief and strife for people. So when we've gone with our sandwiches and even hot meals and packages, and we've taken time to say, "We're thinking of you, what's going on?" And the stories of just thanks. Constantly thank you for being there, thank you for serving, thank you for being a part of our community, because the Salvation Army actually works where we live, right? We live there, that's home, that's why we're there early on, and that's why we stay there until the work is done, taking care of our neighbors.
Yeah. Now, if someone's watching and they want to get involved, are you taking volunteers? Are you able to do that? Could people connect with you?
Well, the volunteers we use are all trained. We have a national training program in the Salvation Army for just this kind of purpose. And for those who want to get trained, can call the Salvation Army to find out how, and they can get involved during the year on different deployments that we have. But people can get involved nonetheless, and they can pray for those that are volunteering and serving, and pray for those that are affected by this flood. And they can also get involved by donating financially. salvationarmy.ca/flood relief, or they can call toll-free at 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
Okay, this is good information. Thank you so much, Jeff, for being a voice of those that are on the ground right now, just trying to help our neighbors right now.
It's my privilege. Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.